Hi everybody, I'm Al Gonzalez. I'd like to offer you 3 ideas today to prepare students for the next school year. First, I'd like to offer you an idea about connecting with each student as the school year comes to a close. Second, I'd like to offer you a classroom as the school year closes. And third, I'd like to offer you an idea for everybody, including you, as you look toward the future and the next school year. First, for each student in your classroom, if you can, steal a moment away to recognize the relationship you've developed over time. Talk about a good memory, talk about a great moment, talk about what you will remember about that child. As you think back to your schooling, it was those small interactions that you remember best that helped you determine who was one of your favorite teachers or one of the teachers that led you on the path of your success. Those small moments can help a child develop a brighter future for the years to come. If you did, unfortunately, have trouble with the student, or in some cases, the student's having trouble with you, you just didn't match, you didn't gel, you didn't groove, the relationship was tough to come by, those are important connections to make as well. A student has to know that the relationship between the two of you is independent of his or her ability to learn in school, or to find a brighter future in school, and most importantly, potentially, a new relationship with a new teacher to come. It's okay to say, young person in front of me, hey, we didn't have the easiest time together, but I want you to remember that I've always thought that you were going to make it. If you can give him or her an idea of how positively you feel about his or her future, it could go a long way. When you can, take some time with the group to let them know what you did this school year to help them progress through the grade level. You invested your time, you invested energy. They need to know what the plan was, what your hopes were, and what did happen from your perspective. You validate through your work and efforts with them that grade level work in their lives. You are the 2nd grade teacher. You are the 5th grade teacher. And that means that they will remember 5th grade and 2nd grade as their time with you. How you recognize the group's efforts are up to you. But whatever you do, make sure that you join them so that all of you understand that as a classroom community, you are focused on everybody's progress. You can tell your story of how you saw them from day one and what your vision was and what your accomplishments were leading to these last days of this school year. Now, one of the things you want to remember is that everybody had their own individual paths. So for each to be able to figure out that they've progressed, you have to do some very specific and equitable work. It may require that you spend some time on a final project where each child gets to identify where he or she started and where he or she has progressed as a writer, reader, mathematician, etc. If you will, it could be a portfolio type presentation. You might even want to celebrate with some of the family members that are available during the school day so that everybody could recognize all the work that was done and all the investment that has paid off. Finally, the 3rd idea is about the future and recognizing and celebrating what is to come. If you can work as an individual with children, or as an individual with small groups, or as a whole classroom community, please take time to identify how you define the children's futures. As young people, they look to us to help them define who they are now and who they will become. We have a very, very important role in their identity development. If you work with a population of English learners, of children whose economic situation is very stressful, or who struggle in any way academically, you know there's some very specific needs that they have if they're going to overcome various obstacles in their lives. It would be very important for you to let each of them know that from your perspective, understanding how to succeed through school, through college, and as an adult, you see the same in them. You see the potential, you see the skill set, you see the future. They'll look to you to help them identify who they will become. Please be as positive as you can. Please be as warm as you can, and letting them know that as tough as times may be right now, they can be made better with the hard work that you see in them, with the skill set you see in them, and with the determination you have seen in them throughout this school year. I'd like to close with a couple of ideas about how to end your school year without ending your school year. First, we often count down to the end of the school year. We count down to lots of things in life, but there's two ways that those countdown end. One way a countdown ends is with a great explosion and everything is gone. Another way countdowns end is with a blast off and something great is about to happen. What we need to avoid with our children is to count down to something that explodes and everything goes away. Representing such a countdown is where we celebrate and throw a party at the end of a school year without celebrating anything other than the end of the school year. The message behind that is that learning's done. We have 8 weeks where we don't have to do anything. And if you're teaching a population that has great academic need, we cannot have that countdown lead to an explosion where everything ends. We need to count down to a blast off. Please count down to independent work. Please count down to summer school. Please count down to summer camps. Please count down to plans that you've made with families to help your children progress through the next weeks after the school year ends. Which, in a way, is not an end at all. As some of you have heard me say before, the teacher cycle is 180 days, but the students are on a 13+ year journey in school. There's no countdown where something explodes and everything ends. And there's really no end of the school year. What it is a break for children to recharge their batteries just like we do, for children to reconnect with family and engage academically in ways that personally they will be richer for in preparation for the next school year. I've mentioned this idea of celebrating nothing at the end of the school year other than the end of the school year. And what we need to celebrate with a party is what people have accomplished in your classrooms. You might have, as I mentioned before in the video here, a portfolio. Work from the very beginning of the school year and work at the end of the school year where your party can center around progress and accomplishment academically. That's worth the celebration and a cupcake. Another party might be a social event where families are invited and where they can find out from you what the next grade level expects from parents, guardians, and students. Maybe you all even take a field trip to the next year's classrooms. In some way, whatever you do to celebrate the end of the school year needs to be celebrating some academic progress or some academic future. Finally, there's a third piece of ending the school year that I'd like to address, and that's the cleanup, wrap-up part of the things. Oftentimes, students are cleaning up the room as needs to be done because it's a big, big job, and we as adults and teachers in the classrooms have limited time to contribute to such a task. So as best you can, yes, you are going to have your students clean up and clear their desks, etc. But one thing I want to remind everybody is that please help the children identify the difference between recycling, garbage, and work to treasure and learn from. Too often, classroom trash cans are filled with student work, student projects. And what that says is that the value of this work is not worth keeping past the end of this particular grade level. And we all know that if children develop a sense of pride and commitment to their work with your help, with your leadership, with your guidance, it becomes this valuable resource for them in the future. So as you clean out desks, please take your time and really clean out the desks. Help them sift through all the files to develop a sense of what is work, and that will become a resource. What is trash that should be recycled or not? And what is something they can give back to the classroom so that students can use it next year? Perhaps you can use it as a teacher, keeping model work for children to learn from in your next classroom. Those last days, those last hours are very important for children to understand from us, the adults, that the school year is coming to a close, but learning is not coming to an end. Your students, through your words, through your actions, as you bring this school year to a close, will understand whether it is time for them to take a break from learning or whether it is time for them to step up and take an independent step toward greater success. I appreciate the time. Thanks for a quality school year. Whether we work together or not, I appreciate your efforts with your children. Best of luck. Enjoy your break. See you next year. Bye.